My name is Jeremy Devins, and welcome back to the Quiet Mind Astrology podcast. And today's episode is a practice. So, this is an episode you'll want to be able to listen to when you can go into a more meditative space. So, if you don't have that available right now, just hit pause, come back to this one later. So, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you are in a space where you can go into a meditative space and a meditative practice. So this just means that you have like somewhere private and quiet to sit and go within a little bit. And I don't recommend doing this while driving or anything else like that. You can just listen if you want, but ideally you have a cushion to sit on, or you can lay down or go into some sort of more meditative space. And today in this episode, we're going to talk about the energies at the beginning of August with the new moon in Aslesha going into the Mercury retrograde as well in Maga, and how to work with these energies. So the first thing I'll recommend is just setting up your environment. So getting into a comfortable, relaxed space. This might mean closing a door, closing a curtain, putting on a candle, entering the space that feels more internal, and turning off notifications or things like that if you can. And if you don't already have your space set up nice for going into this space, then pause and do that now. And now, if you're still with me, I'm going to assume that you have set up your space for a meditation and invite you now to get comfortable. And this could be sitting, laying down, whatever's comfortable for you. Don't worry too much about the posture, just that you feel like you can enter a more relaxed space. And notice your breath. Just notice, is the breath shallow in the upper lungs or deeper to the ribs and belly? Is the breath slow or fast? And if it feels natural to you, you might slowly extend the breath so it's a little slower and a little deeper down to your lower belly. And now just notice how you feel. Is there any obvious tension in your body that's holding on that doesn't need to be there? Maybe your shoulders could soften a little bit. Stomach, the hips, the legs, softening tension. And bring your attention to the base of your spine, the root chakra, where this energy of the Kundalini is within each of us. This Aslesha energy beginning in August is the serpent energy. And in the Vedic tradition, we all have this potential serpent energy coiled at the base of the spine that lies dormant there, and we awaken it through meditation and spiritual practice. And it feels like an electrical current up the spine when we awaken this energy, and a sort of lightness in the body, and even visual light around that. You see like things look brighter and clearer when this energy is awakened. You may have experienced this before, you may not, but it's this potential energy in the spine. Now, physically and anatomically, this may be related to the glymphatic system, which is a fluid that moves from the spine to the brain and circulates like the lymphatic system, sort of moving energy and clearing things out, essentially waste products, and cleaning the spine and the brain and the sort of waste products and debris and of the whole process of being alive. So as we meditate now on the base of the spine, just bringing attention there, not trying to make anything happen, not trying to force some sort of result, but just noticing the energy at the base of the spine. As we go into the root chakra in our roots, we start to become aware of subconscious patterns, things that are below the surface. This can be related to our childhood, our past, our conditioning. And it's very common in this area to tense up as we bring our attention here. So just notice if there is any tension or holding on that can soften here. The Aslesha energy, the serpent energy, is this potential. It's this intuition, this wisdom, this power within us that is under the surface. And our conscious mind only has so much actual influence and control. Our subconscious has a lot of influence. If you subconsciously believe something, that will override your conscious decisions of choices to make, habits. If you ever try to change a bad habit, you know what I'm talking about. So we're just inviting awareness into this space, into this part of ourselves. Images might arise, thoughts might arise, discomfort might arise. It's okay. Just noticing what's here. And I'm going to just say some words and we'll just explore whatever comes up as I say these words. There's no right or wrong to this. There's no intended real outcome other than just to bring awareness to what arises when I say the word security. Maybe there's feelings of feeling secure, feeling insecure, maybe images, experiences coming to mind. If the mind starts to go deep into story, just come back to the present moment of the breath and the sensations in the whole body. We'll have time to journal at the end. So if things are coming up that need attention, we will be able to do that and take action if needed around them. But right now, we're just touching awareness to these parts of our deeper awareness. The next word to explore and notice what arises is safety. Maybe you feel safe. Maybe you don't feel safe in certain situations or circumstances right now. Maybe there's a feeling of safety that you can embody here. Noticing what arises for you. Now, notice what arises when I say the word potential. Maybe you feel you are living in your expression of your potential. Maybe you're feeling there is unexpressed potential. Maybe there's a feeling of a lot of energy sort of rumbling at your root, ready to express through your action. Maybe you feel like you've expressed a lot and you're expressed your potential and you need to rest at this point and refill your cup. Maybe you feel you're just living in it and you are tapped into this potential at your base and expressing it. No right answer here. There's no judging. None of that. It's just awareness. What arises? And as I mentioned, the subconscious often really dictates our behavior. So there may be some patterns that you're wanting to change, but they're just not changing. You keep repeating it. So I want to explore now what arises when I say the word negative patterns. Are there negative patterns that come into awareness? Maybe there's not. Just notice. Next is the symbol of a snake. What does a snake do throughout its life? It sheds skins. It takes on new levels of growth by letting go of the old skins. If it didn't, it would die. So there's this element of the new moon in Aslesha of needing to shed a skin, needing to let something go to grow into this next phase throughout August. So now, as I say the next phrase here, notice what arises for you as I say shedding skin. Perhaps there's an identity that it's time to let go of, a relationship to change, pattern to change. For you to begin September having grown and become a new person, what skin, what identity would you need to shed? Keep in mind, shedding the skin is very vulnerable. So it's not necessarily easy. And it might not be time. Snake doesn't shed the skin every month. There's certain times where it's necessary. So it might not be the time for that for you. That's okay. It might be exactly the time. Just notice what arises in this awareness around shedding skin. And now, just bring awareness to the base of the spine. And with each inhale, imagine energy moving up the spine to the crown of the head. And with each exhale, imagine energy moving out of the crown of the head into the universe. So breathing this way a few times with each inhale, energy moving up the spine. With each exhale, energy moving out from the crown into the universe. As you breathe this way, you might lengthen your spine a little bit. You might create a little more space in your body. You might even allow some very subtle serpent-like movements. The spine actually thrives when we move more fluidly like this, of allowing a little bit side to side, maybe a little forward and back. Just very subtle, small movements. One of my first yoga teachers would always say, we're only as old as the spine is flexible. So as we keep a supple, dynamic, fluid spine, which is surrounded by spinal fluid, it's meant to be very dynamic. We create a sense of ease, a flow of energy, literal flow of electricity and information through the spinal column, but also externally, this flow of flowing with life. So again, another breath or two this way, inhaling, breathing energy up the spine. Your exhales, that energy extending out, expanding into the universe. We have this electromagnetic field from the heart that extends 6 feet around the body. It's a sense of aura, the scientific version of it. And that has a definite impact on the people around us and the people in our field that experience us. So it's just being aware of the energy, sort of cleaning up that energy. Maybe there's a little bit more fluidity in the spine, a little bit more clarity in your energetic field, and just back to normal breathing, back to normal awareness, and back to the more normal, conscious, waking awareness. To now take some time to journal. So I'm going to start to end this episode, and I will end it with just inviting you to journal afterwards. So there might be some actions that arise in this, something to do. It might just be a way of being. You know what works best for you. You know what you need. You have the answers within you. But to bring a sense of closure to this practice today, we'll just do one deep breath together through the nose, inhaling, and exhale through the mouth. And I want to thank you for taking the time to do this inner work and this practice. The ripple effect is way more than we can comprehend. Seems small, seems simple, but it can have such a profound impact on the choices we make going forward, and then the effect on others, and just our way of being in the world. And when more people are doing that, I think it has a profound positive impact on the world. So thank you for doing this work and sharing this space. And I hope it brings some clarity to your month of August. And if you'd like to continue to go deeper in your astrology studies with me, then check out the Become Your Own Astrologer workshop and the link in the show notes or at the website quietmindastrology.com. But I encourage you now, while this is fresh, to take at least 5 minutes to just journal about your experience and write any next steps for you to take here. And I look forward to sharing more with you next time on the Quiet Mind Astrology podcast.